container. This is the kind of response we had down in Grand Design Show.
Well, this is the next thing I was going to say. That it's been so successful and they're so lush and beautiful that you were invited to go on to Grand Designs to the exhibition.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you found that out?
Oh, well, when I got the phone call come through and the lady said, "Oh, hi, this is from Grand Design, Kevin McLeod would like you to come on board." I'm like,
Is it
really?
a joke? Yeah.
Grand Design. And they said, yeah. So, it was so fantastically well received down there, as a initiative, we've got to look at this as a bigger picture of the whole thing, because I think eventually we in this country need to think outside the box when it comes to housing. We just think of bricks and mortar, but there's other alternatives out there, and containers is one of them. There's millions, not thousands, millions of empty containers, disused. If you drive around Bristol today, you would see literally hundreds of disused containers. All you need is just a bit of skill set, which I haven't got, but I've got lots of friends who have.
Exactly, you're a popular
and then
guy.
Convert the whole thing into living accommodation. It's not difficult.
No, you say that, but
No,
it's not something I could go out and do. But you've got the energy to
Yeah.
do it. Where'd you get all this from? What inspired you in the first place? We all sit there and go, "Oh, it's so
Yeah.
bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
This homeless issue is so awful." Not many people actually do something.
No, I understand. And if I had £5 for everyone who said about it, I would be a rich man. So what happened was, when we go out on the street, which we do on a Thursday evening on an outreach, giving out sleeping bags and hot food, one of the things in the early days I used to ask the guys were, "What do you want?" And they used to say to me, "A roof over my head." And I used to go, "Yeah, right, okay, like I could do that."
Yeah.
But little did I know, just a bit of forethought, and it could be done. And that container just fell in my lap, and then we just converted them, and we got guys we got 5 containers down there now. All of them are occupied. We've only been building these containers since March, and they're going from strength to strength. We've got corporate companies involved with now. We got people in Hull, Birmingham, Manchester, Plymouth just contacting me on a weekly basis.
It's incredible.
We want to do this, Jasper.
Jasper, it's wicked.
It's amazing.
It's so cool. I'm so chuffed, and it kind of makes me feel proud to be from Bristol. Do you know
of
what
course,
I mean?
absolutely.
It does.
And
It's
that's
like,
what we wanted it to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Now, the next phase in this is that the council has now given me a unit which we are going to convert these shipping containers and put the shipping containers into this unit down in Bedminster. So we're going to have 11 living containers, a restaurant where the guys can eat and do all the cooking. And so what we intend to do is invite the public in once a month, let them eat, let them pay what they want, and just generate. It's going to be a real community. It's all behind sort of closed door types,
Yeah.
So that's the vision for this phase of it, and then the phase 2, we're going to move into North Bristol and do another 10 over there. So that'll be 21 containers.
How many people can sleep in one container?
Well, we got one that's 38 foot. 2 people could sleep in there. A little family
amazing.
could sleep in there.
This is so
Yeah.
incredible, isn't it? Now, what I was going to say earlier is how I sort of came across you months ago was that you were kind of like, you had this great idea and you were kind of banging your head on the wall because you'd written to the council and they were ignoring you. You had this amazing idea and they just weren't responding, were they? And I hooked you up with Paul Smith, and what happened?
Oh, Paul Smith's been the champion for us,
Has he?
Yeah, he's been absolutely great
He's a good
for
guy.
us. Yeah, he is a good guy. Some people may not think so, but from the very off, he was the first one from the council to come down and have a look at the project and think there's some,
Just to clarify, he's the cabinet minister for
Yes.
housing for Marvin Rees's cabinet member, cabinet. What do you say, cabinet ministry or whatever?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's handling housing and he's making a difference, isn't he?
Absolutely, he's making a difference, But you got people in the background who's pushing Asher. They've been very vocal. There's a couple of Green Party members down in South Bristol who's been pretty vocal about the whole thing. And people need to just open their eyes and their minds and think, well, we got a major problem. Let's look at some solution, cost-effective solution, because one of these containers costs anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000 to build,
Right.
from scratch. So you come in, you have a look. You would never have thought it. You know, they look like £40,000 flats inside. You know, they're that immaculate inside. You know.
So how are you funding this?
Well, what we've tried to do is create a community spirit, and that's the whole reason this has been able to get off the ground. Okay, I've been the driving force behind it, and you know, there's lots of people who want to help, don't know how to help, just need someone to grab it by the horn and go, right, this is how it's going, follow me. And that's what's been happening. And so people, if I want a shower, like for instance, I'm not sure, Wicks for instance, like they called me and said, Jasper, I've got 16 showers here you can have. We're not using them no more, you can have them. And then it's just become it started as South Bristol community, it's right across Bristol now, where it's a whole city and community project. It's not just about
It's blown me away. It's blown me away. Because originally, you're ex-military yourself. Before you arrived today, in fact, I must say thanks to the guy who texted in earlier, and or woman, it could be. You didn't leave a name, but you just said, I appreciate it wasn't easy and very much admire Miranda publicly telling the truth about her partner and taking his life from depression, because my partner for 7 years was in the military. He was in the Marines and served in the SBS, and when he left, he couldn't cope. That transition from being in the military to a civilian, unfortunately, he didn't cope. You know, he was in the SBS and he'd done so many things he couldn't deal with. So, and there are so many ex-military now that are homeless and ex-vets that are on the streets. I wondered if your experience of being in the military had maybe somehow given you that incentive, but you actually had a great experience, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved it in the military. I had 12 years. I was in the Light Infantry and the Royal Green Jackets. And you know, I joined when I was 21 and made a real man of me, because all I was doing was kicking around Bristol, getting into football violence and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, it sort of joined there and changed my life, you know. And they're my second family, the army. I can always call upon guys from the army to help me out at any stage, you know. I loved it. It was great, and it's like real character builder. And you know, I draw on that experience and strength that I had whilst I was in the army, and you know, and my planning and preparation, preventing poor performances. I kind of, you know, revert to that when I'm doing stuff, and it works for me. So it was 12 years well spent, and I had a thoroughly good time, and I got a second family out of it.
That's amazing. And when you came out, you see a lot of guys come out and they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
You came out and set up, well, who we all know you for is Jamaican good food.
No.
No?
I came out and I set up clothes shop on Park Row.
Did you?
That was my first business.
Which clothes shop was
It was
that?
called Jasper's Clothing.
Oh my days!
Oh yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh! I didn't realise that was you.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, I set that up on Park Row, and then I moved off Park Row onto Park Street.
Yeah.
And you know, it was 10, 12 good years doing that, and went on to do other weird and wonderful things, like, you know, close protection, and then I had a restaurant on North Street, and then I moved from there, and then I got another restaurant now on North Street, Jamaican Diner, which you're referring to, which a lot of people have since gotten to know me for, and now reinvented myself again to help the homeless, which is really satisfactory. You know, when you see some of the guys you help, and you know, a lot of street homeless people know of establishments, but a lot of the guys, they know me personally because I know them personally, you know, because I've known them before they were street homeless, you know. So it gives me great satisfaction. So when I pull up and they go, all right, Jasper, well, I've got a sleeping bag, and we help them out. So it's great, you know, it's fantastic. It's better than anything.
Yeah, no, I can imagine if somebody out there, I can imagine them people out there listening, oh, what can I do to help? Can they? What do you suggest they do? What's the first step?
Well,
get in touch with someone like you?
Well, yeah, there's you know, there's so many people and, well, groups and organisation that's doing what I'm doing. Okay, I'm providing housing, which is a little bit more up from handing out sleeping bag, but all of it is all essential, you know, because that sleeping bag that group might be handing out
Uh-huh.
might save someone's life for
Yeah.
that night,
Yeah.
just to keep, because it's bitter out there
I
and
know.
it's getting even worse
I know.
at night.
I know.
And all the hot meals
so
and hot
awful.
food. Some of them haven't had nothing for a couple of days, you know, because for whatever reason, you know. Some of them, we have a van, so we go out in our van. And we reach a lot more people than some of the groups do because they remain central. We go up to the Downs, we drive up Gloucester Road, and they see us coming.
Can I just ask a question? I don't know how you're going to respond to this. When we walked down here, me and my son's with us today, we saw a homeless woman.
Yeah.
We never see very homeless women. I was homeless at a very, very young age, and it was an incredibly scary experience because you couldn't stay anywhere for very long or get a chance to fall asleep because it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
You weren't safe. How many women are you coming across on the streets that just...
We're coming across a lot more women now.
Yeah, it's
Last
scary.
night, funny enough, we met this young woman. She was sleeping in a tent on College Green by the church, the cathedral there.
Yeah.
She was tucked up in the corner there with her sleeping bag and everything, and we gave her a torch. She was over the moon because she had a book to read, and she's obviously got some issues. But we do come across a lot of homeless women. There's more men. Actually, this young lady, she was from Bristol. We get a lot of young women and men. The young women and men that we mainly come across are all from Bristol. The older guys, they're from out of town, you know. And just to go back to what the question you asked me was, who can work? What can they do
Yeah,
to
sure.
volunteer?
Yeah, of
was
course.
people like